Mhm.
Yay.
What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Monday Night Madness on the late night tip. I'm Andre the Torch Robinson. The fire starter is in the building, ready to talk some
Turn your camera on, fam.
late night. Yes, we got the overlay on. I will show Marcus's beard in just a moment. Marcus let us show his beard on shows and things of that nature. And quotes let us show his bonnet on show. Nevertheless, so let's do it. Let's show everybody that's in here. There you go. You see us now. You see us. You see Marcus with his beard. You see quotes with the bonnet and the fire starter right here. On the late night, we're gonna talk some sports talk. So like and share the show. We are on YouTube. We on Twitch. We on Twitter. We on Facebook. All that good stuff right now. So make sure you like and share on the late night. Man, first and foremost, there's a whole lot to talk about on this show. Nevertheless, Sunday's games, crazy Sunday games. But we just had a Monday night game just a few minutes ago. We watched the only undefeated team, undefeated no more. I don't know what happened, if Rocky got knocked out by Clubber Lane this week or Dragons knocked him out. But it was not ringing. It was not ringing Liberty in Philadelphia tonight. Marcus the Alphabets in the building. What's good, Marcus?
I'm good, man. I'm real good. Look, I'm not no hater. I'm not the type of person to sit around and celebrate somebody else's demise. But I would be lying if I said I wasn't happy. It takes a little bit of the sting off of the loss from my team. So, I can take that. But I wasn't like rooting. I wasn't like rooting against them. I was just hoping to see a good game, So it's good. We're two games behind. We can still win a division. We're a game behind the Giants. We didn't already beat the Giants. But last time we played the Eagles, we didn't have Dak Prescott. Not that I don't know, after the way he played yesterday, I don't know if that would make a difference. But, life is good, man. Life is good.
I have to say this is hilarious right now because there is a similarity between everybody's team on here. Everybody's team. And by the way, shout out to Quotes is in the building. Terrell Harris in the building with us. Quotes, what's good, my guy?
Turn your mic on, fam.
I had a betting interest in this Monday night game for fantasy football purposes. I needed a big game from Devontae Smith, and I got a big one from Terry McLaurin, who I Mari Cooper, and that was the difference in me winning and losing. And I'm very sad about that. And don't even get me started on my Buffalo Bills yesterday. That was just disgusting. But I'll get into that. We'll get into that.
So, interesting enough, there's a similarity between all of our teams on there, right? All of our teams is in third place in the division. That's funny. The Cowboys is in third place. The Bills is in third place. The Packers is in third place. Hilarious.
That's true. But here's the thing. Here's what you got to look at. That's true. But guess what? You got to look at who's in the best position. Who's in the best position?
Yeah, you know what? That's a good question. Put it in the comment section. Whose team is in the best position right now?
Whose team in the best?
Mine's is in the worst.
When you have divisional losses, that's way worse because that's like when you take an L, that's like a game and a half. So they gain a game, you lose a game, and then the tiebreaker. It's nearly 2 games. You nearly be 2 games off, and you're 0-2 in the divisions. We're 1-1. You're 0-2. Did y'all lose to the Vikings or the Lions?
Yeah, Packers lost to both of them.
Week 1.
They lost to who?
The Vikings week 1.
Yeah, you know, when you have them divisional losses, man, that hurts even worse, man. That's you know, we lost.
So wait a minute, time out. So the Packers have divisional losses to the Vikings and the Lions. The Bills have divisional losses to the Dolphins and
the Jets.
The Cowboys have divisional losses to who?
We only got one divisional loss. We just got the loss to the Eagles.
Okay, so they only have one, so it's close.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, what team is in the best position to make a run in the playoffs? The Bills, Cowboys, or Packers? And I don't think it's the Packers. So if anybody said the Packers, you're lying. All right. Now, with that being said, the Commanders. Do they finally get a name this week? Do they get a name this week? Because every other week we forget their name, whether it's the Commandos or
the Eagles know their name now. The Eagles know their name now.
Yeah, I mean,
and I gotta say, man,
wow.
I hate to sit up there and blame officiating, but the NFL really has to do something about some of this officiating. That call, that non-call against Goddard, I mean, the guy face masked the hell out of him. You know, it's like, come on, man, you can't. When they go back and see something, you know, when they check a play and you find something like it, that's a 15-yard penalty, man. That's big, and you nearly pull this guy's head off, and then he fumbles the ball. You know, so it's like it's like a double whammy because he fumbled the ball because he nearly got his head pulled off. So I don't know, man. I don't know what and then that last call against the roughing the passer at the end, that was atrocious. It's atrocious. I mean, you can't have that. You can't. I don't think he went in it. I don't think Brandon Graham went in with the intention to try to jack him up. You know, so I don't know.
But Marcus, I think it was called because he was giving himself up. I think he gave himself up, and then the hit right after it. You know how the league is now with the quarterbacks. It's sweet and soft, and if you touch a quarterback after he's done giving himself up, yeah, you're getting that call 9 times out of 10. You're getting that call, no question about it. When I looked at the replay, I'm like, oh. It's one of those I went in and I can't pull myself back out of it. So now I just got to go through with it and it's over. And at that point, it was a done deal. But the Commanders, 32-21 over the Eagles. Wow. What was the biggest shock in this game for you guys?
The Sirianni forgot to run the ball again. If you look at some of these losses, whether it's my Cowboys or this game, you got Miles Sanders, man. He had like 2 carries in the first half. How do you take this guy out of the game plan? You know, he's an awesome young back, and sometimes the Eagles and Sirianni, they get a little too pass happy, man. I don't know what it is with these teams nowadays, just being pass happy. You know, you saw the teams that won some of these close games. What was the difference in it between the winning and losing? Running the ball. The Packers ran the football. The Vikings ran the football. The Commanders ran the football. When you're playing against a high-powered offense, and then you can also impose your will on the other team. These teams, a lot of these teams now, I don't know, it's the new fad or whatever. You know, inside the 20, you're passing the ball. Inside the 15, inside the 10, you're still passing the ball. Line it up, I formation, and pound the rock. I just don't get it, man. I don't know if it's like a new school football or whatever, man. But it's like you got to, at some points in the game, you have to be able to impose your will on the other team.
Yeah, Quotes, what was your thoughts on the game?
This game showed that, one, the Eagles, again, they have been playing good football, but they're not this juggernaut that people have assumed them to be so far this year, especially when they're in a division that is still wide open at this point in the season. I think they have flaws in their play calling, which showed, which I will get into later with a lot of other teams. Situational play calling has just been very, very odd this year for a lot of coaches and a lot of teams. 54 yards and only 12 carries for Miles Sanders is not going to cut it, especially when he's having a career year. And you're playing a team like Washington. It's not going to cut it at all whatsoever. That was the most shocking thing, to see them not utilize him. And two, to also see Jalen Hurts look human again and look like the Jalen Hurts we've seen prior to this year. And my biggest takeaway, which is going to shock everyone, which is coming from left field, after tonight, I think the MVP lead is now in the hands of Tua in Miami. And it hurts me to say that, being a Bills fan, but I think Tua has balled out in Miami, and the only thing that really stopped him from being considered a front runner was the Eagles being undefeated. You take that away from Jalen Hurts in a game where he didn't play his greatest as well, and you're going to see the Eagles kind of come back down to earth the second half of the season. I think Tua has put himself in at least the front runner conversation for the MVP race after Monday night. So,
I think you also have to throw. I think what Lamar Jackson's doing is incredible too, considering they have no wide receivers. Considering he hasn't had J.K. Dobbins most of the season. Considering he hasn't had Gus Edwards most of the season. He's out there still doing all of this. Now Mark Andrews might miss a little bit of time. Rashad Bateman, he's out for the year. They're bringing Deshaun Jackson out of retirement and rolling with Devin Duvernay. I think when you look at the cast, you know, what a person, to me, what you have to work with also has a lot to do with your success. You're throwing to Deshaun Jackson, Devin Duvernay, James Prochet, and you're on your third string running back. And you're trying to do this under the pressure, knowing that if you get injured, you might miss out on $47 million a year. So I think what Lamar Jackson is doing is incredible, considering his supporting cast, and also considering the circumstances that he's playing under.
Do you think he'll ever get the respect he deserves?
Well, he's won the MVP. He's won the MVP. He's won the MVP. I think he's playing a more controlled style of ball. You don't see him playing as recklessly, taking off and running and stuff like that. You could take a lesson from a guy like Dak Prescott when he was trying to get paid and they franchise tagged him and he ended up with his ankle backwards, his foot facing backwards, and I think he has that in the back of his mind. I've seen some plays where Lamar Jackson's playing, and to me, it seems like he's kind of holding back. He's not playing that normal helter-skelter, reckless abandon style because he has a lot to lose. So I look at not having really a number one receiver and also the pressure of winning and not being able to do what you do best, which is run away from people. Because right now, I think Justin Fields, I think he got 588 yards rushing. Normally that would be Lamar.
Oh no, Uncle School! Oh no, Uncle School! We found the mystery. Oh no, Marcus, the alphabets.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I have to say, I love the synopsis that you give, the analytical, formulas that you give when you talk about certain people. But I guess I got to fire start a little bit on this one. And this one is probably going to make, quote, IV drip a little faster than it has been. Sir, I want you to stop. I want you to stop giving props to players that play on organizations who do not make the correct moves. I'm not giving Lamar Jackson a whole bunch of because the Baltimore Ravens don't know how to go pick up a wide receiver. Sorry, just not doing it. I'm not.
Okay,
if you can't throw the football because you claim that you don't have no wide receivers, then you need to go to your organization and speak out and say, "Hey, listen, give me some real wide receivers."
He has.
I'm not giving. I'm not. Then guess what? You need to do something else. When push comes to shove at the end of the year, when they don't pay him, then he need to go somewhere else. Then obviously
that's the leverage. That's the leverage he has.
Right. So there's the leverage, right? Well, I ain't leveraging the fact that he's got 600 yards rushing and he's got no Rashad Bateman. They're pulling Deshaun Jackson out of there, and we should just all praise Lamar Jackson because what is the Baltimore Ravens record? Are they leading the division right now?
Yes.
Yeah, what's their record right now?
I think they're 6-3.
Yes, I believe 6-3.
I think they're
6-3.
Yeah.
Why are you blaming the player for organizational incompetence? I don't understand that. That's not his fault that they won't get any help. That's not.
You got to look at that's why we have these postseason awards. Coach of the year, executive of the year. You have to look at stuff like that. I think the Packers organization is stupid for drafting Jordan Love. I think the Bills front office is dumb for not getting
Nyheim Hines, right?
For getting Nyheim Hines and not going to get a big running back. I think the Cowboys organization made a stupid ass move just giving away Amari Cooper. So,
oh my goodness,
giving him away. Just give us a 5th round pick and you can have Amari Cooper. So that's just asinine. We'll never forget Jerry Jones. The Seattle Seahawks are looking pretty damn smart right now because maybe they knew something that we didn't know about Russell Wilson.
Yeah, again, the reason why I tie in organizational moves to players is because I feel like we give a lot of players leeway just because the organization doesn't know how to make moves.
Well, I think you got to give them credit. Look, it's like your look. It's the same as like your job. If you're a great employee and your management's a bunch of idiots, that's not really. And you're an outstanding employee. I'm not going to criticize you whenever the management is losing money, but you're like an awesome worker. You know what I'm saying? Those are things that are the only thing that a player really has effect over is what he does on the field. That's the only thing that I have to control.
Marcus, let me ask this question. Let me ask you this question because we had this conversation, and I totally get what you preface it and what your preface it is, or preface what your preference is as far as players and organization. Obviously, you made a good comparison. But we also have had conversations about quarterbacks making receivers. So would you say Lamar Jackson is a quarterback who can't make receivers?
Look, can he make receivers? I don't know. All I know is this. Aaron Rodgers normally passes for a whole bunch of yards, right? And looks outstanding is usually running away with the MVP. Without Davante Adams, is he running away with the MVP this year? Yes or no?
No, but you know what? I'm going to be very honest with you, and this is just to be real. I don't think he would still be running away with the MVP even if Davante Adams was on the team.
No, I don't know about that because
here's why I'm going to tell you. Here's why I'm going to say that. Because if you look at the Packers organization this year, the Packers organization is nowhere near with the same intensity, with the same type of mentality.
Because their offense can't move the ball. Their offense can't move the ball.
Let me finish. Okay. No, okay. Their defense has also not been the greatest as well. I think it's a whole entire organizational situation. I don't think it's just Davante Adams. A lot of people, it's easy to blame what's going on with the Packers on the fact that Devontae Adams left. I think that's the easy out. But if we really look at it, the Packers have not come in with the same mindset, mentality as they have the last 3 seasons. Just look at the way they play now, the way they've been playing all around. And to preface it somebody else, just look at Josh Allen the last 4 games. Mentality matters. You can't tell me mentality going into games, your mental don't matter. It does. Josh Allen literally, and not to get on him because we'll talk about him a little later, but he's thrown 5 red zone interceptions in 3 games. That's a mentality situation.
No, that's a play calling issue because, again,
no, that's a mentality issue too.
I got you on that. But you also have to have personnel. And you got the Buffalo Bills organization decided to go with Nyheim Hines when there were other running backs out there. You go and get a guy who's a progress stopper. You drafted James Cook in the 2nd round. And
right,
then
but let me ask you a question. You said personnel, passing personnel. Are we talking about him passing the ball, or are we talking about the fact that him not being able to run the ball has made him more one-dimensional to where he's passing that way? Is that what you're trying to allude to?
No, what I'm trying to allude to is all of last year, all that I heard was Brian Daboll was a terrible coach. That's all that I heard. And that Ken Dorsey was going to change everything up, and he hasn't. It's the same thing. Y'all are a pass-happy team. Y'all are an outdoor team. You're an outdoor cold weather team with a dome roster. You have the worst running back room in the entire division, even over like the Patriots. Would you rather have Devin Singletary or Ramondre Stevenson and Damian Harris? Would you rather have Devin Singletary or Jeff Wilson Jr. and Raheem Mostert? Would you rather have Devin Singletary and Nyheim Hines over Breece Hall, Michael Carter, and James Robinson? The way your team is,
Marcus, I mean, you get no argument on that. I'm just trying to get an understanding of
you do according to your personnel. You don't have the personnel to do the things that you need to do. You just don't. And in about 2 or 3 weeks, it's about to start snowing outside. And the thing that gets me with this, and look, we're going to talk about other teams too, but since we're talking about this, you all have had good running backs. You've had good workhorse. You've had O.J. Simpson. You've had Thurman Thomas. You've had Shady McCoy. And you would think somewhere, and in those years, you had pretty damn good teams. Why would you think that Devin Singletary and Nyheim Hines are the answer?
Again, that's an organizational.
When you pass up backs like Kenneth Walker Jr., when you pass up backs like Breece Hall, when you pass up running backs like Jonathan Taylor, who played at Michigan State out in the cold, and you pass him up. When you pass up a guy like
Marcus, Jonathan Taylor played for the University
of Wisconsin. I'm sorry, I'm talking about Kenneth Walker. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Oh, you good?
But when you pass up guys like that who played in run-heavy offenses in the cold, I mean, come on now. You're going to pass up on a Wisconsin back who plays out in the snow, half of the season? Come on now. Those are front office issues, I mean, you got to start looking at certain people that you all last year, that's all I heard. Brian Daboll. He's Brian Daboll. You're a 60-40 split on pass to run. And then on that 40%, you run your quarterback 80% of the time. You know what I'm saying? That is not sustainable. It's just not. So, Stephon Diggs, dog. Dawson Knox, dog. But when you get in those close games and them cold weather games in this January, Jack, what did Washington do to the Eagles tonight at the end of the game? What they do to them?
Well, that Brian Robinson is something.
Do you see what I'm saying?
He was special today. He definitely was special today.
At the end of the game yesterday, what did the Vikings do to the Bills? At the end of the game yesterday, what did the Packers do to the Cowboys? It's football 1-on-1, folks. You get a lead, and at the end of the game, you run it down their throat. That's what you do. Brian Robinson was punishing them boys, play good defense, run the ball control, don't turn over the ball. They've been teaching that they teach that type of football all the way from Pop Warner all the way up to the NFL.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get to some of these games too. I know we've been talking about organizational moves and things of that nature. But we're gonna go backwards on these games today. We talked about the Monday night game. Let's talk about the Sunday night game that shouldn't have really been a Sunday night game. San Francisco and Los Angeles, the Chargers, 22-16. Obviously, we know what happened. Christian McCaffrey looked good.
Elijah Mitchell looked good. Elijah Mitchell
looked good. Looked good in the game. Jimmy Garoppolo had 240 yards. Justin Herbert was held to under 200 yards passing. Austin Eckler only had 24 yards rushing. My question to you guys is the 49ers defense really number one in the league? Are they?
They're coming. They're coming. I will add a caveat to that, though. I got into it with my boy. Shout out to my boy Dustin Davis. He was like, "Yeah, Justin Herbert's overrated." Again, when you're in the top 5, Justin Herbert is top 5 in passing. Okay, when you're missing your left tackle, when you're missing your number 1 receiver, when you're missing your number 2 receiver, Mike Williams, when you're missing your number 1 receiver, Keenan Allen, and you're out there with Joshua Palmer and DeAndre Carter. I mean, come on, man. Backups are backups for a reason. Third and fourth stringers are third and fourth stringers for a reason. When you're missing certain players, when you're missing your horses, it's hard to kind of perform when you're out there against a legit team. You're out there against a legit team. So, the 49ers, they have a good team, but I just think right now, you start seeing some teams, and we're at that time of year where teams start getting really decimated, and it shows in their play. And people, injuries are part of injuries are part of the game. But when you start, football is a war of attrition, and when you start having so many injuries, it just gets to the point where there are no more bodies. So, congratulations to them, 49ers. They look good. The Christian McCaffrey pickup looks like genius. They're using him the right way as compared to the way Carolina was trying to use him. They're trying to use him like the way they're using Donta Foreman right now. He's in a great system, getting him in space and, sharing the load with Elijah Mitchell. I think he's going to revive his career over there.
All right. Quotes, your thoughts on Sunday night's game?
I'm about to say something that I've been saying for a very long time since the offseason, and we've had very passionate talks about this. It is about that guy, LA, Mr. Justin Herbert. I've been very adamant that Justin Herbert is overrated for this point in his career, and I will continue to say that now. No matter what the circumstances are, he cannot win big games, and he does not bring LA to playoff caliber. The great quarterbacks we look at in this league, as you just said earlier about quarterbacks making receivers and stuff, they elevate their teams even when their teams are lacking in some areas. Justin Herbert does not do that. They have anointed him a top 5, top 10 quarterback before he has even sniffed the playoffs. And I think that is ridiculous. Sunday night, yes, that is a really good defense in San Francisco. I will not try and take that away from them and give that credit. And yes, they are dealing with injuries in LA, but all year, he has not performed to this top 5 standard they've been trying to push on us with Justin Herbert since last year. That narrative, just because he has long hair and throws for a bunch of yards and he's big, does not make him a top 5 or top 10 quarterback in this league. I've watched him lose in big games over and over. I watched him get outdueled by Geno Smith. I do not see this top 10, whatever label they're trying to push, a narrative they're trying to push with Justin Herbert on us. And
I got a question for you real quick, Coach.
All right.
How did Tua look with just a rookie Jalen Waddle last year? How did he look as compared to the way he looks with Tyreek Hill right now? Please just answer
he was
that.
battling injuries himself. That's
okay.
Justin Herbert is not battling injuries himself.
Justin Herbert got knocked out was it a game and a half with the punctured lung earlier in the season and with the rib injury?
Yeah, one injury, but he's not battling injuries like Tua was.
Okay, I got you, but you don't think that getting Tyreek Hill, getting Raheem Mostert,
yes.
Going from Chase Edmonds to Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson Jr., and getting Cedric Wilson and getting a better offensive line and getting pieces on the defense, you don't think that helped them spring? Who was the favorite to win the AFC East at the beginning of the season?
Buffalo, easily.
Okay. And so now we've seen with the moves that the Miami Dolphins have made. You just said to me 10 minutes ago, we need to start putting Tua in the MVP conversation. So what happened between last year and this year?
He got better and got a better team around him. Justin Herbert already has that around him, though. He already has that.
Tyreek Hill might be the greatest deep threat that we've ever seen. He's on pace right now. He's on pace right now to break Calvin Johnson's single season receiving record. Right now. He's on pace with that. The Dolphins have 2 top 5 receivers. Tyreek Hill is at 1 and Jalen Waddle's at 5. And you don't think that has anything to do with Tua being better?
It definitely does. But again, Herbert has always had talent around him and still can sniff the playoffs. That's never been an issue of he doesn't have guys around him like Tua didn't have guys around him and does now. Justin Herbert has had guys around him since he's touched foot in this league, and he still cannot even sniff the playoffs.
Herbert and Tua were in the same draft.
Yes.
They were in the same draft.
Yes.
Tua hasn't been to the play. Tua hasn't been to the playoffs either. So what
now
is
that he has a team around him, he will. Herbert has already had that and still hasn't.
And he also is playing in the division with the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. You know, the team that bounces the Buffalo Bills every year. He has to see them twice a year.
Man.
That's who he has to see. That's who he has to see twice a year. So you don't think that hasn't
a few times, and there's still wild card spots. He can't even get one of those. He couldn't even beat out the Raiders for a while with an interim coach for a wild card spot last year in that same division. Might add you, he couldn't even beat out Derek Carr.
I don't get that. I do not get the disrespect for Justin Herbert. I think he's thrown more yards than any quarterback in their first 3 years in any quarterback in history.
What has he won?
Okay, what has Tua won? What has Joe Burrow won? What has Josh Allen won?
Joe Burrow got to a Super Bowl. Wait a minute.
Okay, what has Josh Allen won?
Yeah, I will give you that. I will give you Josh Allen.
Well, I'm just saying that these critiques. Let's
be clear. You naming players now who've been to playoffs and deep in the playoffs, though.
Yeah,
I agree with you. But his thing is, what has he won? What has he won? Well,
if we talking about winning stuff too, you're naming players who have also won divisional titles too.
Okay.
Herbert can't do that, and he can't even get to
Okay.
playoffs.
Look, until this year, winning the AFC East was not a major accomplishment until this year. Mm-hmm. When you're playing Josh Allen.
I'm agreeing with you.
Josh Allen was beating rookie Zach Wilson, rookie Mac Jones, and second-year player Tua Tagovailoa.
And you know what? That's what these three losses piss me. You know what? Those three losses that the Bills have this year piss me off because it gives fuel to the fire for comments as such that you just made. Zach Wilson now he's not a rookie no more. So the Jets are just elevated the standard, right? Then you got the Miami Dolphins who was fish being squished, baby belugas being squished. And now the Dolphins are the mighty, mighty smart Dolphins now. Then you got the Patriots, obviously, who still have a winning record with Mac Jones and whoever the case may be in year 3.
And Mac Jones last year who beat you throwing the ball 3 times.
And Mac Jones who beat him 3 times. Right. Absolutely. But here's the thing. This is why that pisses me off. The Miami game, Bills, once again, flopped. This is 3 games that the Bills flopped. All 3 of those games, the Bills have lost by 3 points, period. Miami game, lost 3 points. Lost to the Jets, 3 points. Lost to the Vikings, 3 points. They Here's the thing, in every single one of those games. And instead of being 9-0 where they should be, they're literally 6-3 in their third place.
So another difference between the two, Josh Allen has beat a former
MVP. Yes, they should have.
If you're gonna take credit for all of all of the close games that they lost, you also have to take ownership of the close games that they won, like the Ravens game.
Well, the Ravens is the only close game that they won this year.
That's where the consistency comes in at. The boom or bust that me and you've been talking about, like with
right. But here's the thing. But say it again though.
3 for 17 or 3 for 171.
But you saying the Bills shouldn't be 9-0. Let's be clear. The Ravens were winning that game, and the Bills just had a drive where they came back and won the game off the last minute drive. I totally get what you're saying. So at best, the Bills should be 8-1, if not 9-0, and that's what pisses me off about the Bills because these games.
Well, here's the thing. Y'all have been used for the past 2 years of just walking over the division, and just like
I'm talking about. Okay, so watch this. I'm talking about games that they should have just flat out won. We're not even talking about walking over the division no more. The Jets. And again, this is where I say mentality matters. If Josh Allen does not throw 2 red zone picks, we are not having this conversation about the Bills. If Josh Allen doesn't throw 2 red zone picks yesterday, we are not having this conversation about the Buffalo Bills.
But
if Josh Allen did not throw, what was the stats against Miami? Can we go back to Miami? What was the Miami?
You mean whenever you mean the Miami game whenever Isaiah McKenzie was wide open and he threw it 5?
Yes.
Y'all were complaining saying that there were people, but then there were people saying that the Dolphins should forfeit the game, and they got away because they played Tua concussed and they should have to give up the victory. And then I heard that it was the weather, it was too hot outside and we were dehydrated and stuff.
Yeah, Josh Allen threw for 400 yards in that game, ran for 50 yards, and Devin Singletary was their best receiver in that game, by the way. For those who do not know, Devin Singletary was their best receiver in that Miami game. Once again, I just don't
styles make fight swords. You have to look at certain patterns. One of the patterns is the Buffalo Bills cannot stop the run. We've seen it
late games. Yes, correct.
Over and over. We've seen that over and over and over. And then when you're playing team with firepower that you can't just blow off the field, there are some coaching discrepancies in there. Yeah, it's easy to call a game when you're blowing a team out the water, when you're blowing you're having 98-yard touchdowns and stuff. But football is really a law of averages. You know what I'm saying? Most teams are 8-8, 8-9. The ones that get breaks that go their way, they're 11-6. The ones that have everything go wrong, they're 4-13. So it's the law of averages. You know what I'm saying? So you try to those little minute details, the little minute details in there. That's the difference between winning and losing. It's hard to win games in the NFL. It's even harder to continually be good, because just like y'all were tired of losing to the Patriots for 11 straight seasons when the Patriots won the AFC East 11 years in a row. Here's the other thing that Bills fans need to understand. Y'all have been ruling the division for about 3 or 4 years now. You have to understand that the mentality is when you go from hunter to hunted, everybody that you play going forward is going to play you like it's the AFC Championship, because you all have been, preseason favorites, Super Bowl favorites. So everybody that you play is going to play you like that, Just like y'all were tired of losing to the Patriots, the Jets and the Dolphins are tired of losing to y'all. So the way that they play y'all, that's the way they're going to play y'all. And then also the way that they constructed their teams to deal with you. Why do you think that the Dolphins went out and got Tyreek Hill? Why? Why did they go get Tyreek Hill? To have firepower to go toe-to-toe with you. Why do you think that the Jets go and get Sauce Gardner with a top 5 pick and go get Garrett Wilson and go get a guy like Jermaine Johnson, edge rusher? You go get maybe the cornerback who's going to win the defensive rookie of the year in Sauce Gardner to match up with a Stephon Diggs, to match up with a Gabe Davis. That's what they go. They didn't go get beef up front to stop a running game. They went and got secondary help, and they went and got a fast receiver, a corner to match up with Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis, and a wide receiver in Garrett Wilson that's a speed demon that gives them firepower to throw the ball down the field in case they get in shootouts with the Buffalo Bills. And then they go and get a running back in Breece Hall. They go get a running back in Breece Hall that's a cold weather back. The Patriots, they go get a running back, a big bruising running back to run in the snow at Foxborough, and Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson. The Dolphins go get a big bruising back. They used that Mike McDaniels is a coach. He went and got both of the 49ers old receivers. That backfield with the Dolphins, both of them were the starters with the 49ers. What did the 49ers stress? Running the football. Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson Jr. used to be the two starters with the 49ers. And Mike McDaniel said, I want these guys so we can, when we can't throw the ball to Tyreek and Waddle, we can play smash mouth football and control the clock. That's team building. That's team building and roster construction.
Now, time out. How come Justin Herbert gets the excuses with injuries and stuff like that, but you won't give the Bills that same excuse when the Bills literally have no secondary right now and have dealt with issues and injuries up front all season?
Okay, and I'll answer that, quotes. Why the hell did you go and get Von Miller? I was a torch. What did I say when y'all went and got Von Miller? What did I say? You're gonna go spend all of this money on a situational. How many sacks did Von Miller have against Zach Wilson? How many sacks did he have against Tua Tagovailoa when y'all played the Dolphins? How many sacks did he have?
I don't like where this is going. And I don't like where
Answer the question.
So I got an answer for that.
No, but how many?
Answer. You ready for the answer?
How many?
I got an answer.
Okay, go ahead. Okay.
Marcus. Von Miller has sacks against everybody else except for those two that you just mentioned.
Because
you know how many sacks Von Miller has right now currently?
Probably, I think like 6.
No, he has more than 6, Marcus.
He got 7 sacks. I know he doesn't have more. You did not need a 33-year-old edge rusher in the AFC East. The Von Miller pickup was a vanity pickup. The Buffalo Bills can't get high-priced free agents, so let's go and overspend for a 33-year-old future Hall of Famer instead of going out and getting another shutdown corner, knowing that Tre'Davious White is going to miss half of the season.
Okay, so Marcus, I'm going to say this again. No. I'm going to say this again because Marcus think you slick with that.
No.
The reason why they got Von Miller was because Von Miller brings attention. When you put him on the line, he brings attention, which gets other people involved. And you definitely want to have a pass rush, especially if you know that your secondary is going to be depleted.
Okay, well, that goes back to the old adage. Would you rather have what makes what? Does a good secondary make a good pass rush, or does a good pass rush make a good secondary? The bottom line is you play in a division.
Ask the Giants that question, and I will tell you that the pass rush made their secondary better than what it was.
I got you, but I'll rebuke that and say the Legion of Boom made the Seattle Seahawks pass rush. I mean, if we want to do that, I mean, if you want to take it there, I think that Legion of Boom, when you got all pro safeties at all 4 secondary spots. Who was the elite pass rusher on those Seahawks teams? The Legion of Boom. Who were their superstars on the defensive line? You know, so
right.
You know, or you can look at a team like the no fly zone with the Broncos.
Where they had Bennett. They had Michael Bennett.
Yeah.
Was nice.
I mean, he was nice, but I'm talking about the whole defensive line. Or you can look at a team like the Broncos, that no-fly zone Broncos. They had DeMarcus Ware and young Von Miller with those elite corners. You know, that was nasty. So
no, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that was pretty nice.
All right. Well, wow. Let's talk about the Rams and the Cardinals. Obviously, Cooper Kupp.
No Matthew Stafford.
Cooper Kupp has a sprained knee.
Yeah, they might shut him down. They might shut him down for the season. Kyler Murray didn't play. You know, it's just, man, again, it's football is a war of attrition. It's generally the teams that are healthiest at the end that end up making that run. You know, it's usually those teams you want to try to stay healthy. You want to try to make sure that you have depth on your team, that you can survive the injury. You know, going back to it, I wouldn't have played Josh Allen this week.
That's definitely a penalty, Marcus. The more I even look at this play now, that's definitely a penalty. You said that. Yeah, that rough for the passer. Yes, definitely was rough for the passer.
That was tough, man. Because I don't think he was trying to.
I don't think he was trying to, but at the same token, he literally kneed down, and then 2 seconds later he gets.
Yeah, when you're a 250, 260 pound man, you're trying to pull up, man. It's a little bit tough, man. A little bit tough.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. The Eagles looked very lethargic.
Everybody's entitled to that stinker, man. You know, all day long, man, people been hitting me up, man. And I'm just like, dude, teams have a stinker sometimes. Sometimes you go out there, you ain't got your best stuff, man. You know, you ain't got your best stuff. Sometimes you go out there sometimes. Now, when you have 3 and 4 and 5 stinkers, okay. But, you know, everybody's entitled to that stinker.
Oh, well,
the Kansas City Chiefs lost to the Colts. Mm-hmm. Kansas City lost to the Colts. Come on.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of that stinker that you were talking about, How about those Cowboys?
We lost in overtime, 33-31.
That was a stinker. That was a stinker. You want to know why it's a stinker?
Why is that?
Because you can't beat the Packers. I can't beat the Packers.
I mean, sometimes a team just has here. I've seen Tom Brady lose several times to the Saints.
I know that had to be like vinegar in Mike McCarthy's mouth to lose to the Packers.
It had to be. And again, there were some bad. When you make bad organizational decisions, they usually come back to bite you. And you know, hindsight's always 20/20. They hit on the getting rid of La'el Collins. A lot of people were pissed off when they got rid of La'el Collins. In retrospect, is not such a bad move. The Randy Gregory, getting rid of Randy Gregory. In hindsight, it doesn't look like such a bad move. But the thing where they dropped the ball was getting rid of Amari Cooper. That was a bad move. It was a bad move. And they can spin it any way that they want. Jerry Jones was pissed off because he didn't get vaccinated last year and he missed them 2 games. And he was pissed off about it. He can spin it any, we're trying to save money. We're trying to do this. Okay, I don't even have a problem with you trading them. My issue is the compensation for a 5th round pick for Amari 2 or 3 years after you gave the Raiders a first to get him. That's not good. That's not good. That's not good policy, man. That's not smart, you know? And Dak Prescott is responsible for that loss. I put a lot of that loss on Dak Prescott. Guys, I do not play favorites. Oh, you don't ever critique this guy. Dak Prescott, we're up 7-0. Packers get the ball. Get us a strip sack. We could go up 14-0 in the first 5 minutes of the game, and you come out and throw into quadruple coverage right in the middle in the end zone and get an interception. Number one, why are you throwing the ball in the you got Tony Pollard who's running really well. Tony Pollard is running really well. Why in the hell are you throwing the ball at the 15-20 line when Tony Pollard has been on the first drive running that up and down the field?
Well, UTEP guy was the answer to Tony Pollard. He had just as good of a game, if better.
He's an awesome back.
Aaron Jones.
And they also have a 1-2 punch. I heard people, oh man, they should just give Tony Pollard 30 carries. No, they should not just give Pollard 30 carries. When Zeke comes back, they need to split those carries up. Maybe 60-40 in Pollard's favor. I don't think he's the kind of he's never been that guy. Even when he was in college, he was a wide receiver. And he was a backup running back to Darrell Henderson at Memphis, who's the starter with the Rams right now. So he doesn't have the body. He doesn't have the body makeup or the bulk to be like an every down back. They just need to give him more carries. If you give Tony Pollard 25, 30 carries a game, he'll break down in 3 or 4 games. That's just what it is.
Interesting enough. All right, getting to the next game.
Buck Flair says Cowboys should have kept Amari Cooper. They should have kept Amari Cooper. And then considering that Michael Gallup had torn his ACL and he was going to miss half of the season, why in the hell would you get rid of him and not have a backup plan? And then you go get James Washington, and then you let Cedric Wilson walk. And then you let Cedric Wilson walk too. That's not good business, man. That's just not good business. So I don't know what the hell they be thinking sometimes.
Yeah. So Packers win again. Aaron Rodgers. Oh my goodness, Christian Watson, who couldn't catch a pass to save his life, had 3 touchdowns in this one. I still don't see the Packers doing nothing the rest of the season, though. Speaking of which, a team that wasn't doing much of the season, actually 2 teams that ain't been doing that much of the whole season. but one actually put his money where his mouth was and responded, which was Jeff Saturday. He came out talking mess about the Raiders.
They're not very good.
And he came out and won against the Raiders. What's your thoughts on the fact that the Raiders coach might be sabotaging Derek Carr because he doesn't want Derek Carr, and they could save $140 million next year?
Well, that's why they put those stipulations in his contract. That's why they put those stipulations in his contract, to make sure that they hit it out. It's like that girl that you don't know whether or not you want to marry or not, and you start an argument with her just so you can. Maybe I'm the only one who ever did that. You start an argument just so you can get out the house. I'm tired of this. I can't take it. What are you mad about? I can't take this anymore. They're looking for a way out, and I think that the owner might be looking for a way to get rid of Josh McDaniels.
Yes, they need to fire. I think
Josh McDaniels looking for a way to get rid of Derek Carr, and I think that Mark Davis is looking for a way to get rid of Josh McDaniels. Do not be surprised in the next year and a half if Josh McDaniels is back on the Patriots staff. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised.
Yeah, too funny. Matt Ryan in his return had a touchdown, 222 yards.
And Jonathan 39-yard scramble set up the winning TD. It was crazy. Whew.
You said what scramble?
He had a 39-yarder, Matt Ryan, on the last drive. That 2 plays later, he threw the game-winning TD pass.
Oh yeah.
Love seeing it. I would run through a wall for Jeff Saturday.
What do you say here? The Cowboys face Dalvin Cook and
Saquon.
Sir, we've already beat the Giants. The Giants are a one-dimensional team. That's not our issue. We've stopped teams. We shut down Saquon last game. I'm not afraid.
Win their next 2 games and show their Faru. I think they win against the Vikings, and I think they beat the Giants.
Like I said, we beat the Giants already. Now with Kirk Cousins, did Kirk Cousins really win that game?
No.
Or was it that Justin Jefferson had just like the catches of a century?
Yeah, he did. Justin
Jefferson just had now look, when you're playing against a team like the Vikings, Justin, let me ask y'all this. Justin Jefferson is a top 3, top 5, top 10 receiver right now. Justin Jefferson.
Top 5. Top 10 seems more modest, but top 5 is where I would put him.
Okay, so give me the 4 in front of him.
I will go Tyreek. I will go. I can't even put Diggs in front of him. Yeah, I will go Tyreek.
You see what I'm saying?
Wow, this is hard.
You see what I'm saying? I had a poll on my on the Alphabets Football Show group today, and I was like, guys, what is Justin Jefferson? Top 3, top 5, top 10? Where's he at right now? And so they said, well, I said, I think top 5. I go, okay, cool. Give me the 4 receivers in front of him.
Oh, Devontae. I'm still taking Devontae. He's put up really good numbers still in the Raiders. You cannot take him off that top 5 group.
Who's that? Devontae
Adams.
Yeah, but I'm saying like Tyreek. Okay, we see what Tyreek is doing. When I look at Justin Jefferson, I'm gonna start calling him Lex Luger, since Torch like using wrestling analogies. I'm gonna start calling Justin Jefferson Lex Luger, the total package. That's what I'm gonna start calling him. Big, fast, can jump, good route runner, great hands. I mean, what is this guy? What can't this guy do? Like, what can he do? You know? So, Torch, are you going to do a show or are you going to watch TV? What you going to do?
I'm going to do both. Watch these highlights and talk sports because I'm getting some analysis off of doing this show. Oh,
top three: Hopkins, Adams, Jefferson, Hill, Cup.
Oh yeah, Cup is another one.
Cup, I think Cup might be out for the year, man. I think he might be out for the year.
Can we still put Hopkins there?
Hopkins is having a good year, man. Since he done came back, he been balling, man. I got him on one of my fantasy teams. He's out there still balling. But I think that they wanted to have him next to Hollywood Brown. And I think with that kind of took away, you know what I'm saying? So now he's some of the attention that would have gone Hollywood's way. And then I think Colt McCoy started for them this week. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, you go from Kyler to Colt McCoy.
Kyler not that good either.
You know, he's better than Colt McCoy.
Yeah. I mean, it's not hard to be better than Colt McCoy unless he's wearing a Texas uniform. But
all right, moving on. Next game. You guys got like 20 minutes of conversation about Jeff Saturday and Colt McCoy and all this good stuff. Steelers Saints. I think we went with the Steelers for a reason. They came out to be the victors. 2010 over the Saints.
I think they really missed TJ Watt, man. TJ Watt's a problem. They did that without Minkah Fitzpatrick too, man.
Well,
I'd like to see them start giving some more run to that kid Jaylen Warren, man. I mean, I like Najee, but that kid Jaylen Warren, man, he's a baller, man. When it matters the most, Bills will have a problem with Chubb and the Browns. Cardinals winning without Kyler sets them up. Kyler is selfish, so hopefully he matures.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, Kenny Pickett, no interceptions in this one. That was the turning point. Alvin Kamara only had 26 yards.
Yeah. Who cost me my fantasy game this week too.
By the way, hit my cash. Giants 24, Texans 16. Yeah. Daniel Jones 2 touchdowns. Saquon Barkley a touchdown. 152 yards for Saquon Barkley. Barkley having a really good season.
We keep talking about all these quarterbacks and stuff. I think we need to start looking at a couple of players that aren't quarterback and start putting them in the MVP.
Guess who's number one in rushing yards?
Derrick Henry?
No.
Is it Saquon or is it Chubb?
It's Saquon.
Last week, well, it must have just happened just now because last week Derrick Henry was back on top.
Yeah. Nah, Saquon is back on top now.
Okay. I mean, they gave him 35 carries yesterday. That's insane.
And then the Giants were on a bye last week too. So okay, yeah, I got it. Okay.
931 yards for Saquon already. I'm giving Saquon comeback player of the year, by the way.
I don't know, man. I think you got to look at Geno Smith.
Yes.
You got to put Geno Smith. You got to put Geno Smith in that equation.
Giants is 7-2. I'm sorry, they got a better record too.
Okay, and Geno Smith has been. Geno Smith was on the cusp of being out of the league. Where was
listen, I bang with him. I do. Yeah. I bang with Geno. Don't get it twisted. Now, I'm not saying that Geno.
I think they need to put Saquon Barkley. I think Saquon Barkley needs to be in the conversation for MVP. Him and Tyreek Hill. I just hate that it's always a foregone conclusion that the MVP is a quarterback. I mean, what think about this. What is the Giants' record without Saquon Barkley?
2-7.
You see what I'm saying? MVP, most valuable player. I mean, we've seen Russell Wilson win with the Seahawks a little bit last year. I mean, and what Tyreek Hill is doing with Tyreek Hill is on pace to break Calvin Johnson's single season record. I mean, you have to take those type of things into consideration. I just hate it's always we've had what two defensive players that were MVP.
Oh no.
We've had two players in the whole history of the MVP.
Oh no.
What?
Oh no. I'm sorry, but I don't mean to interrupt you, but I just thought about the Dolphins beating the Browns 39-17, even with Nick Chubb. And I looked at who the quarterback was for this week coming up. I do not see the Buffalo Bills getting their butts whooped by the Cleveland Browns. Whoever keeps saying that, I doubt it.
Did you think Kirk Cousins was going to beat you down this week?
Remember, I said the Vikings was going to win if Josh Allen wasn't playing, but then I changed it at the end and I said Josh Allen is playing. They'll win by 6 or lose by 9, and they lost by 3. That's the funny part.
Okay, well,
the funny part.
Here's the thing: you had for the past 3 weeks, you've given up a whole bunch of yards against the Packers. You gave up 200. You gave up 178 last week, and you gave up another 143 this week. So, what do you think that the Cleveland Browns are trying to do? What do you think? And then the thing with them is you ain't just going to see Chubb. You're going to see Hunt, too. And then they also got Amari Cooper, who we've seen have some good games, too. So, I don't think it's just, again.
I don't think it's an easy game. Do not get it twisted. I just don't see. I don't see 3 in a row.
Okay. Did you see Justin Jefferson having 190 yards receiving? Did you see that?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Yes. Yes.
Did you see that? Yes. I thought 100, 150. This dude hit nearly 2 bills on you, man. And
I saw that coming.
And you couldn't do nothing with him. And
I told you that was going to be a bad situation. I told you. I said ABC, another bad creation. I tell you, that was going to be bad.
And to be perfectly honest with you, the Browns are built a lot like the Vikings. They're built a lot like the Vikings. You got an average quarterback, Kirk Cousins, Jacoby Brissett, an awesome running back, Nick Chubb, Dalvin Cook, an awesome backup, Alexander Madison, Kareem Hunt. You got a good number one, but the thing with the Browns is they got a pass rush. What do the Vikings have? What do the Vikings have comparable to Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney? What do they have? What do they have comparable to that? They got 2 good corners. They got Denzel Ward, Greedy Williams, Greg Newsome. They got JOK over there, the linebacker who can basically spy Josh Allen the whole game. They ain't no walkover. We just saw them run. Who was it they did dirty? Cincinnati a couple of weeks ago ran them off the field. And every team that plays the Buffalo Bills going forward is going to watch the Jets game. And if you can't stop Michael Carter and James Robinson, what the hell are you going to do with Nick Chubb? What are you going to do? You can't stop Michael Carter. You can't stop Michael Carter and James Robinson, and you got Nick Chubb coming into the league. Okay, you got to come into Buffalo. Okay, in a game that's probably going to be cold, where there ain't going to be a whole bunch of throwing. I'm putting Denzel Ward on Gabe Davis and double teaming Stephon Diggs. That's what I'm doing. and I'm playing a nickel the whole game because because you don't have no running game. I'm not putting no linebackers on the field. I'm doing 5 defensive backs all the live long day.
Yo, you are too funny. If you say Michael Carter one more time, yo, you're making me think. You know what you're making me think of? You're making me want to go watch a good old Rush Hour movie. You can't stop James Carter.
If you can't stop Michael Carter, you ain't stopping no Nick Chubb.
Yo, you got me dying laughing right now. Michael, the way you kept saying Michael Carter, I'm like, yo, all I can think of is James Carter. He over here crossing traffic, and you can't stop him. Like, stop it. The Bills will be fine, man. He said, Michael Carter, you ain't nothing.
All I heard last week. You
let them sit over here and stun on your team like this. This is what
all I heard last week, man. The Vikings ain't played nobody. They're 7-1. They ain't played nobody. Oh man, our offensive firepower, man. They can't match our offensive. Man,
Buffalo had them smoked. I just don't even. What in the hell was that in the second? I've never seen that, Marcus. At all the games I've ever been to, I have never seen what I saw Sunday ever. Like, what was that second half? I have no idea. No clue.
Josh Allen.
No clue. I'm not talking about the Chiefs beating the I'm not talking about the Chiefs beating the Jaguars 27-17. It's not even worth it. Is it really worth talking about Patrick Mahomes, 4 touchdowns, 331 yards?
We need to start putting him back at the top of the MVP conversation. Him, Tua, and Lamar. Josh Allen has had 3 stinkers, bro. 3 stinkers in a row. He stunk against Green Bay. He stunk against the Jets, and he stunk against the Vikings. He's had 3 stinkers in a row. You, like I said, you could have 1 stinker. You can't have 3 consecutive stinkers.
No comment from me. With that being said, the Titans actually beat the Broncos, by the way. Y'all told me the Broncos was winning that game.
They're talking Jerry Jeudy might be out for the year.
Mm-hmm.
They've been a huge disappointment. We're talking, we seen 2 coaches get fired already. How many coaches we saw? Rule get fired.
Who's the Broncos coach?
Nathaniel Hackett.
Oh, he's done.
I think Nathaniel Hackett.
They're gonna hack. They're gonna give him the hatchet. They're gonna give him the. They're gonna give him the hatchet. He'll be out of there. Hackett can't hack it, so we're gonna hatch it.
I think Josh McDaniels is probably up out of there, and I think Nathaniel Hackett is up out of there too. And if Mike McCarthy loses another game like the way he lost the other day, Mike McCarthy, I think Jerry Jones always wanted Sean Payton anyways. I think he always wanted Sean Payton. That would be just the thing. That would be just the medicine if Mike McCarthy started losing games. Because I think Jerry Jones has Sean Payton on speed dial. I think he got him on. Sean Payton lives in Dallas, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So mess around if you want to, miss the playoffs or be one and done in the playoffs, and you're gonna be up out of there collecting them unemployment checks.
Did you know? What is it? Week 11 next week?
Yeah.
That if the Vikings win next week,
to be the number 1 seed in the NFC,
and everyone loses in the division next week, the Vikings could clinch the division next week. That's terrible. That is terrible. By any stretch of imagination, That is god awful. Week 11, by week 11, at least week 12.
That the Bucks, they're leading the NFC South, and what are they, like 5-5?
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody else is like 3-7. I mean,
Marcus, they remind me of the NFC least a couple years ago.
Traditionally, sir, the NFC East has been the NFC Beast. We
know.
You can't always be on top. You can't always.
You didn't see them losing to the Jets. You didn't see them losing to the Vikings, and watch what the Browns do to them. T Nice, what's good? T Nice, you talking? You know what, T Nice? You always got something to say about the Bills too. I'll get you on the show one good time, man. He do make a lot of sense. I told you, Marcus is that guy. I bang with Marcus. I told you, I bang with Marcus. Mr. Fresh Analysis. I bang with him. Vikings kept the Bills with hope because they passed the ball on 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1. If they run the ball, they will wear the Bills down. Yep, ifs and buts is candy and nuts. I tell you, and I tell you what, I've never seen a game where a team had the game won twice, gift wrapped it twice to lose it, and then still won it. Still won it after they gift wrapped it twice. Literally. Like, Marcus, do you realize all the Bills had to do was kneel the ball down and they would have won that game? And instead, they went to hike the ball and try to do a quarterback sneak.
Or they could have just ran it out the back of the end zone.
Right, which is what I thought they should have did anyway.
And took the safety, then you drop kick it in the back of the end zone and make them drive. And there wasn't that much time left. Take the safety, kick it to them. They ain't got no more timeouts left, and you win the ball game. These are things here where you got to start. Look, because
not taking a field goal earlier in the game bit them in the butt, and I said that it was going to bite them.
I
was just telling somebody that
people blame Dable. People blame Dable, and people blame this and blame that. Y'all better start looking at Sean McDermott too, because he done made a few. Oh yeah,
McDermott definitely. Oh, we on this head. I told you read the article. You read the article, Marcus.
You got it. You got
on this head.
To me, if I'm running an organization and we're not winning, no one is beyond reproach. Nobody's beyond reproach if we ain't winning. That goes from assistants to the GM. To the head coach, to the quarterback, to whoever. If we ain't winning, everybody is subject to get looked at. You know what I'm saying? And once you start firing and losing coordinators, what's the one common denominator? That head coach. It was like with Jason Garrett like a few years ago. Oh, I'm firing this guy. Oh, this defensive coordinator sucks. Oh, this offensive coordinator sucks. Okay. Well, we're giving you back play calling duties. You're offensive mind, right? That's why they hired you, right? Well, we're going to give you play calling duties, and if this don't turn around, we're firing your ass. So you guys, ain't nobody beyond reproach with me, especially if we losing.
For sure, definitely. Well, we talked about the Bills, Vikings already, Seahawks and Bucks. We already talked about. I am not about to sit up here and talk about the Panthers and Falcons.
All I'll say is this, man. Donta Foreman, I'm happy to see him kind of revive his career, man. I'm really kind of happy to see that.
All right. Well, I'll run down some scores from today too. Run down some scores, and then wow, we already had an hour and a half. Marcus, did you know that?
Yeah, because I'm about to go to bed.
Yeah, me too. I'm gonna take it right to bed. All right. So women's college basketball: Indiana 79, Tennessee 67, UConn 83-76. The UConn men will be here in Buffalo coming up. UV basketball. They will be playing the UConn Huskies coming up tomorrow, actually. Yep, tomorrow. You have Virginia Tech 79-24 against SC Upstate. South Dakota State 63-62 over Mississippi State. Princeton 62-58 over Seton Hall. Oregon 83-46 over Southern. In NBA action, the Raptors, once again, beating the Pistons 115-111. Hornets 112-105 over the Magic. The Celtics 126-122 over the Thunder. You had the Heat 113-112 winners over the Suns. Clippers 122-106 over the Rockets. Atlanta Hawks 121-106 over the Milwaukee Bucks. And the Golden State Warriors still looking real good. 132-95 over the Spurs. You got Duke and Kansas going at it tonight. Duke in Kansas in college basketball. All right. Dickie V will probably be at that joint. Bill Self. No more Coach K. New coach now. Can anybody even tell me who the coach for the Duke Blue Devils is now? Do y'all even know? Anybody know?
No.
I'll let you. Nobody cares now that Chris Krzyzewski's gone. Coach K's gone.
Mike Krzyzewski, Coach K, Court K. Yeah. Look it up if you don't know who the coach is. All right. Sabres played it tomorrow night. Play tonight, actually, not tomorrow night. They play tonight. They play against the Canucks. I had to choose between UV basketball and Sabres. I guess I'll go to the Sabres game. I'll be at the Sabres tonight against the Canucks. Hopefully some other stuff comes up that we can talk more about tomorrow as far as sports concerned. Oh, can we talk about how Israel Adonijah got knocked out again?
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
You know,
it's his fault though. He literally tries to coast to decision victories off points and stuff instead of going in for the kill, and that's his fault.
That's the thing with MMA as compared to a lot of other sports, even like boxing, man. You don't get no give me's, man. You don't get no give me's, man. Every one of your fights, man, is like I mean, Dana makes the fights, you know? So it's like, okay, you're the champion. Okay, this month you're fighting the number 3 ranked guy. Next time you're fighting the number 5 ranked guy. Next time you fight the number 2 ranked guy, the top contender. It's like, dude, there are no give me's. There's no like, well, this guy is 15-35 in his MMA fights, you know, and he's been knocked out his last 3 or 4. Like everybody that you fight is like a top fighter.
That's right. No room for slouching.
You don't get no tomato cans. You don't get no warm-ups. Everybody it's a murderer's row every time you fight, you know. So it's tough, man. That's why I think that the MMA fighters are grossly underpaid as compared, you know. I know all these people that think Floyd Mayweather's, you know, the GOAT, TBE, whatever. I don't agree with that. But, you know, he'll fight Canelo, and then the next 3 fights are, you know, against guys that are over the hill or you know, lost a few fights in a row or whatever, you know, or past their prime. You know, you get some cupcake fights. Them guys don't. Conor McGregor don't get no cupcake fights. You know what I'm saying? Conor McGregor don't get no cupcake fights. John Jones don't get no cupcake fights. Speaking of that, rest in peace to Rumble Johnson. Passed away yesterday. 38 years old, man. One of my favorite fighters, man. I don't know what he was battling. We're 38 years old and passed away. I thought he would be the next guy. I thought he would be, you know, at that time at the light heavyweight 205-pound division, he had of course John Jones, Gustafsson, and Rumble, and Daniel Cormier, and he was right up there, man. Knockout artist, but just could never get over the hump. It seemed like,
Yeah. Speaking of which, prayers definitely need to go out to the family members of the Virginia players who died, who was killed. Ex-player is in custody, who played on the football team, shot up the place Sunday. That left 3 football players dead and 2 students wounded. Yeah.
Sad, man. Real
Very sad. Very, very, very sad. USC, 55-17 over Colorado. Ohio State, number 2 in the nation, 56-14 over Indiana. Tennessee, 5th ranked Tennessee Vols. Wow. 66-24 over Missouri. LSU, 13-10 over Arkansas. Over Pick Suey. Notre Dame won their matchup against Navy 35-32. Purdue 31-24 over Illinois. 21st ranked Illinois. Vanderbilt beat Kentucky 24-21. Michigan beat Nebraska 34-3. Alabama snuck by Ole Miss 30-24. Clemson 31-16 over Louisville. Penn State 30-0 over Maryland. Boston College sneaks by NC State, 16th ranked NC State 21-20. UCF winners over Tulane 38-31. Georgia, number 1 ranked Georgia, 45-19 over Mississippi State. Washington 37-34 over 6th ranked Oregon. And the list just keeps going. Oh, Florida State crushed Syracuse 38-3. We thought Syracuse was really good. Yeah. Not anymore. All right. Texas. What happened to Texas this week? Oh, TCU, the Battle of Texas. Yeah, Texas Christian over the Texas Longhorns, 17-10. Marcus, what happened, Marcus?
Them in-state rivalries, man. This is tough.
And Ewers doesn't look like that guy.
When you got 20 D1, when you got 10 to 20 D1 schools in your state, that's what it is, man. And then you're battling for recruits going to Oklahoma. Dez Bryant's from Texas. He went to Oklahoma State. Adrian Peterson's from Texas. He went to Oklahoma. Baker Mayfield's from Texas. He went to Oklahoma. You're constantly battling, trying to recruit players, man. So it's a tough thing, Aaron Jones is from UTEP. Aaron Jones is from UTEP. UTEP ain't one of our elite programs. Michael Crabtree was from Texas Tech. Patrick Mahomes is from Texas Tech. Mm-hmm. Marcus nearly went to Texas Tech. I got off the bus for my recruiting trip. And you know who's there when I get off the bus, Torch?
Who?
Byron Bam Morris.
Oh.
And the coach, his name was Spike Dykes. I get off the bus and it's Bam Morris. At the time, I'm 5'9", 217, 218. I'm standing next to this guy. He's 5'11", 250. 2 years later, he gets drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers and playing the Cowboys in the Super Bowl, our last Super Bowl, 1995.
Wow.
So,
Two
it's
quick college football notes I have. Arch Manning is coming to Texas because you brought up Texas. He's coming to Texas next year. He thought he was going to redshirt and Quinn Ewers was going to be the guy, and he was just going to coast that freshman year. The way Ewers is looking right now, Arch is going to get thrown in there as a true freshman next year, and he's going to have to ball out immediately. He's not going to get that redshirt year. And
yeah, but the thing is, there's a word I like to use. Torch starts with a P.
Pedigree.
If anybody is equipped to go in there into Texas as a red shirt freshman, it's this kid. It's this kid. And you talk about the recruiting. When they go to people's homes and you got a Manning on your team, can you imagine as a coach when you're going on recruiting trips and you're like, yeah, for the next 3 years we're gonna have Arch Manning on our team. You're a blue chip wide receiver. Come on to Texas. You'll have Arch Manning throwing to you for the next 3 years of your college career, and guaranteed if you have any type of success, you'll be a first round pick. You don't think that those kids?
Well, no, I think he's a stud. That's not me saying that to say anything against him. Yeah. He's just been adamant that he's excited to have a redshirt year to learn under. I don't think he's getting that now.
Yeah, I don't think he is either. And he's going to be the center of the offense because I think that Brehan Robinson is going to be. He might be the first running back off the board in this upcoming draft.
Oh, I think he definitely will be.
He's an absolute beast. Absolutely.
My second point. Alabama quarterbacks are never it. And I learned this because I used to think that Greg McElroy was going to take the NFL by storm.
Greg McElroy. Oh my God, that's a name I haven't. Greg McElroy. Wow.
I thought he was going to take the league by storm.
Oh my goodness, are we talking about Alabama's Greg McElroy?
Yes.
What was the other boy? AJ McCarron.
Oh my goodness! Don't even start with AJ McCarron.
Well, do we believe
he is not allowed to be brung up in Bill? No, he is not allowed to be brung up around Bill's head.
I don't trust. I made an alphabets bits on this. I don't trust quarterbacks from Power 5 schools that have 5-star Under Armour elite recruits at every one of their skill positions because it gives you a sense that it makes them look better than what they are. Mac Jones, when you have Najee Harris behind you, when you have Jalen Waddle as one of your receivers, Henry Ruggs is your other receiver,
and Devonta Smith,
and then you got Alex Leatherwood on the offensive line.
Oh, wait a minute. Before we go, Marcus, is it time to give Devonta Smith his respect, sir?
He's doing well in the role that they have for him. Mm-hmm. And I already know what you're going to say. Because I bashed him, right? Is it okay? So let me ask you this question, because I was asked this earlier today. When I draft a wide receiver in the first round, what do I expect?
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
What do I expect
you going with that?
What do I expect you to be?
Number one.
Okay, who's the number one receiver?
Oh, we already know.
So you drafted him last year in the first round, and in the very next offseason, you make a blockbuster trade to get AJ Brown. What are you saying to Devonta Smith?
You ain't the guy.
You're not that dude. So I stand by what I said. Now, you're in the same draft. You're in the same.
He is a hell of a number two.
And that's great. But when I'm picking you at number 10,
yeah, that was the Eagles.
When I pick you at number 10,
yeah, well,
do you know the type of receivers that I can get at number 10?
Yeah, well, that was his
AJ Green in his prime was a top 10 wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
That's Julio Jones, Calvin Johnson. When you're a top 10 wide, who's the number one wide receiver?
Well, he was at number 10, Marcus. So
I got you.
Just give him number 10. Don't say top 10. Just say number 10.
Okay, that's top 10. If I pick,
just give him 10 because 10
is
you
were the number 10. You were the number 10 overall pick. And the very next offseason, I draft AJ Brown. I make a blockbuster trade and give up a bunch of picks to get AJ Brown. What am I saying to you?
Well, I know what that's saying.
Here's the other thing. You win the Heisman Trophy, okay? Devonta Smith, you win the Heisman Trophy, and a guy who sat out for COVID year that no one had seen for a whole year gets drafted in front of you. You sit.
Well, Jamar Chase is a beast.
Jamar Chase is in the same draft class. He sits out a whole year for COVID, and he gets drafted 5 spots in front of you. And no one has seen him play in a year. Huh?
And then one of your teammates get drafted before you as well. Wasn't that the same year that Waddle came out?
Yes.
Yeah, so even one of your teammates get drafted before you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
and you won the Heisman Trophy, and your teammate gets drafted in front of you. You had 2 receivers. One of your teammates.
Well, I think we know why that is, though. Waddle was a bigger receiver, speedier receiver.
That's all I was ever saying.
That don't matter, though.
When I said it, though, people were like, Marcus, why are you putting down Devonta Smith? I go, because he has the body of a teenage girl.
Oh, my God. See, I'm done. See, yep. And that's where we end the show at.
Yeah. He has the body of an anorexic teenage girl. That's why.
So he was the Heisman Trophy winner because he was good at running routes. He was very good at running routes in Alabama, and he had enough speed to actually get wide open. And that was when Jalen Waddle was injured on the bench. But we know why they took Jalen Waddle.
If Jalen Waddle doesn't get injured, he doesn't win the Heisman Trophy. If Jamar Chase plays that year, he doesn't win the Heisman Trophy.
Well, I agree with that now, looking at what LSU was. Yes, I totally agree. It probably would have been Jamar Chase. If Chase doesn't get injured. That year that Chase is injured, didn't Alabama win the year that Chase was injured?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a COVID year.
Yeah. LSU probably would have beat them.
Yeah, so I stand by what I said with Devonta Smith. If I pick you number 10 overall, you got to come in and be my number 1 receiver. I should not have to go into free agency or go make a trade to go get another receiver because you know you're skinny. You're skinny. You would think going to Alabama, he, get some black eyed peas and some hog mugs or something and put a little weight on. So, all that healthy eating. Well, y'all, it's been real.
Yeah, it's been fun, but it ain't been real fun.
It ain't been real fun. Make sure y'all tune in. Alphabets Football Show, Friday night, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. If you want this bottle here, I am raffling this bottle. The Buffalo Bills special, Circle the Wagon special.
Yeah.
Need that.
Bills Mafia. Don Brown. Yeah. It's the Mafia, you know I'm rocking with the Bills. It's the Mafia, you know I'm rocking with the Bills. It's the Mafia, I'm with the Buffalo Bills. It's the Mafia, you know I'm rocking with the Bills. Hey, who you reppin'? What's your team? Who you reppin'? What's your team? You know I'm reppin' for my team. I got that Allen on my team. Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, can you catch it? Can you? Trade day is like a mask, you not catching anything. Matt Milano making plays, we not scared of any team. Best in the AFC, all the praise of Brandon Bean. You hear Sean McDermott clapping while I'm snapping? Do you? Jerry Hughes will get the sack soon as you snap it. Yeah. Andre Roberts running back, ain't no just backing. Mafia, we on a ride and we got traction. We got Beasley, we got Diggs. McKenzie make you miss. Dawson Knox with the stiff arm, treat opponents just like his. Feliciano, Deion Dawkins block defenders like the Fins. Hey, it's the Mafia. I said no one on top of us. I said no one is blocking us on top of our division, so it's clear that it's no stopping us. Google best team in the league and we popping up. Hey, who you reppin'? What's your team? Who you reppin'? What's your team? You know I'm reppin' for my team. I got the salad on my team. It's the Mafia, you know I'm rocking with the Bills.
Y'all want tickets? Let me know. $3 a piece. I'm at 50 tickets right now. I still got 50 more tickets I got to sell. So if you want them, people who are Buffalo Bills fans, maybe you're not a Buffalo Bills fan. Maybe you're a New York Jets fan. Get it to somebody more tickets you buy, more opportunity you have to win. I'm only selling 100 tickets. We're at 48 actually right now. So if you want those, get your tickets. Hit me up in my inbox and let's get this thing done. I want to try to do this raffle hopefully this week. I want to get it out of here before Christmas because when the holidays and stuff start, it's going to be really hard. And I can't send it through the post office. I have to send it through FedEx or DHL. So if you want tickets, get at me. Get it torched, let me know, and I'll give you your ticket. I will take pictures of your ticket number, put it in your inbox. And then Ramona, she keeps a board of all the numbers and stuff and ticket numbers. So get them tickets so we can get this out of here. We already had a winner for the first bottle we did. It's the Rise Up bottle right here. Don Julio Tequila. Okay.
I'm pissed I missed out on Mr. Don Julio.
Did you? What's that Don Julio tequila? This was here. He already won it though. I'm taking this to Clovis on December the 7th to give it to Eligio Senna. He won that already. So he bought like 15 tickets. He spent like $45. He got it though. So it's all good. But all my Buffalo people, circle the wagon. Get them tickets, man. Get them. Get you 3 or 4 tickets. Might win.
Yeah. Ja'Marr Chase acting up. The boy, no, he be acting up. How many touchdowns he got this year?
Huh?
How many touchdowns he got?
He been on injured reserve, man. He got a high ankle sprain. He's like out another 2 or 3 weeks, man. They've been running out T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd the past couple of weeks.
Well, before he was doing that, he definitely was. He was cruising.
He was balling.
He was.
Now they just running the ball down people's throat. Joe Mixon had 5 touchdowns the other day.
5 touchdown runs?
He had 4 runs and 1 catch
against the Panthers.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Right. Yeah, unreal.